Hey guys, this is Will with LPT Realty, and I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I hope you guys are enjoying the holiday season. We just wrapped up with Christmas here. Today we are back here in Kissimmee, Florida, and if you know anything about Kissimmee, Florida, you know that we did a video last year kind of talking about the market here, what's some of the good and bad about Kissimmee, and what you need to know before you call this place home. But today I wanted to come back and kind of rehash some of those things we talked about, but not just that, see some of the predictions I made were right, if this area is still growing, is it still a good place to live, or a place for you to call home. So we're going to dive into all that right now, but before we get started, make sure to click that subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date with everything we have coming to you. So let's check out Kissimmee, Florida. So one of my big points that I emphasized in the last video is that if you asked someone 10 or 15 years ago, would they move to Kissimmee? The answer probably would have been a big resounding no. And while I thought that had changed, I did get a lot of negative comments saying otherwise. But even with all of that, Kissimmee is still the fastest growing city in Osceola County, which is not just one of the fastest growing counties in Florida, it's one of the fastest growing counties in the nation, which has brought a lot of development, obviously population, and just overall growth to the area. So I think people really do love this area and love calling this place home. Otherwise, it wouldn't be growing so fast. Now, I think there are three things really drawing people to Kissimmee, and the first of those is going to be all that new construction and development that we're getting, not just residential, but on the commercial side as well. Everywhere you look here, there's a new apartment complex going up, which is a part of that growth that we're seeing, but there's also new residential communities here that you really aren't getting in Orlando. You have communities such as Tahokwa or even the Cypress Hammock Master Development a little bit more south. Whereas on the commercial side, you're seeing a ton of mixed-use development and just new businesses and things to enjoy, which is a symptom of all this population growth we've seen here in Kissimmee and Osceola County. Reason number two that I think really draws people to Kissimmee is going to be that relative affordability. When I say relative, I'm comparing this to Orlando, whereas the median home price in Orlando sits right at about $400,000. Kissimmee is just a little bit less at $380,000. That's also proportionate depending on the price range, and for new construction, you're going to spend a little bit less here than you're going to spend in somewhere like Orlando. On top of that, your property taxes here in Osceola County are also going to be a little bit lower. Now, outside of all of that affordability, the next thing that I think really draws people to Kissimmee is really the location. Now, you're still in Central Florida like you are in Orlando. However, I think here in Kissimmee, you're a lot closer to a lot of those theme parks and attractions. Depending on where you are, since it's such a big city, you can be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes from Disney and Universal. You're only about 30 minutes from downtown Orlando, and you're about another 30 minutes, depending on where you are, from the Orlando International Airport. So if you need to go somewhere, you're really right there. It's right in your backyard, but it's not a footstep away. Now, when I did this video a little over a year ago, the home prices in Kissimmee were sitting a little bit under $330,000. Now, today that's sitting at $380,000. So if you bought this time last year, you're definitely seeing an upside on your equity. However, I will be honest with you, with those rising interest rates that we've seen across the country, you have seen that negative correlation in price here in Kissimmee as well. We did peak out at about $420,000 in May, and now we're sitting right at that $380,000 mark that I mentioned earlier. So as you know, negative correlation between those rates and those prices, you're definitely gonna see the contraction there there in an effort to combat that inflation that we've been experiencing. Now, these price reductions that we've seen have definitely slowed down. I've seen things kind of level out now compared to where they were during the summer. Now, I think this is more geared towards understanding the buyer demand going down versus actual inventory going up. Since March 2021, we haven't had a single day of inventory under 10 days, which means it's been a very strong seller's market here in Kissimmee, meaning that you have to put in multiple offers to win a home. Now we're right at about 21 days, which is the most we've had really since March 2021, which shows that those homes are sitting longer. You're seeing more of a gap between list price and sales price is about 20 grand right now. So homes are normally listed on median for about 410,000. They're selling between that 380 to 390 range. So it also shows buyers have a little bit more leg up. And this isn't just your normal first-time home buyers, but also investors too. Kissimmee does draw a lot of investors because it's so close to Disney, and you get a lot of those short-term and long-term investors that are getting a little bit more affordable homes on those vacation rentals. And if you're a first-time home buyer or this is your second or third home, once again, you are gonna have a little bit more negotiating room because these homes aren't selling as quickly. And I really think it's healthy. You're getting all that leverage back that I think buyers really lost the past 2 years. So I think overall things have gotten healthier, and with things flatlining, you can say that your investment's gonna be a little bit more stable now than it was in the past year. What I really wanted to conclude this video with is what's coming to Kissimmee. And I think when you say what's coming to Kissimmee, the biggest thing that comes to mind is that Neo City project. Now, what's really cool about this, it's gonna be the first of its kind research tech hub here in Central Florida, kind of similar to that medical hub we have here in Lake Nona, which kind of shows that people are betting and investing on Kissimmee. This project is just under 500 acres with about 200 of those being developable. And they're really gonna be focusing on constructing and building those photonics, those optics, those sensors that you see built in other places like Austin, really coming here to Kissimmee, bringing those higher paying tech jobs that I think we really kind of lack, not just in Central Florida, but definitely in the city of Kissimmee. So I think that's gonna spur a lot of growth continued on the commercial side. You see apartment developers lining up to build things around the area, and you're definitely gonna see those residential developers follow for those homes for sale. And I really think it's just gonna be a great thing for the community, really kind of lift up tax base up and really bring better, more quality jobs here to Kissimmee. And overall, just have a really fun project of massive size that you really only get in Sunbridge over there in St. Cloud, or even the Wellness Way project we're seeing in Clearmont coming right here to Kissimmee. So I think things in Kissimmee are on the up and up, regardless of what the comments may say. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this video we did retouching on Kissimmee and why this is a cool place, why it's still growing, and what's kind of changed in our market, because a lot has changed in the past year. If you're interested in calling Kissimmee or anywhere else in Central Florida home, I'd love to be your real estate agent of choice, but I'm gonna catch you guys next time.